of all those alphabetical noodles falling down in such a way that it gives you the exact Los Angeles phone book in sequence with the phone numbers. The odds are greater that would happen than life itself. So anybody that believes that we crawled out of a rock, you better examine your own philosophy and theory. That's not true. We were given a computer to think with. Man, is that a magnificent computer. Everything is synchronized. The body wants to exist. It wants to survive. It doesn't want to die. And if you just give it the right properties and the right materials and treat it right, it has the innate ability to shuffle things around and heal and remend and come out of its bad state. I've got a patient right now. I just saw him the other day. When this guy came in 6 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago, or closer to 2 months ago, he had a really bad case of osteomyelitis, which he's had for many years. Now, osteomyelitis goes into the bones, and boy, that's a tough one. Years ago, we didn't have the good antibiotics to treat it with, and those people died. But even he, with all the antibiotics and everything, he's just, his status is way down here, hasn't done real well. He had rashes and everything else all over him. And, of course, we do our thing in the clinic. I hook him up to some IVs and so forth. We give patients as much as 100,000 milligrams of vitamin C in an IV in a 2-hour period. Now, if we gave you that much vitamin C orally, you couldn't handle it. It would kill you, but you'd be in the bathroom all the time. But we can give it to you intravenously, and the body loves it. It modulates up what we call the T and the B lymphocytes. And when you modulate up and kick out those T and those B lymphocytes, that's what kills cancer cells. It's what modulates up the immune system. It's absolutely fantastic. It's a natural chemotherapeutic agent with really no side effects. But I'll tell you what's really turned this guy around, which has really put the icing on the cake, is when we finally talked him into taking the mangosteen juice. And I think we've got him taking about 12, 14 ounces a day, and it has just turned his life around. And here's something that you can guarantee everybody. There's something unique about those xanthones. There's something unique about those properties. They have the ability to go down into the nucleus of your cells and actually change and help to re-regulate what we call apoptosis. Do most of you know what apoptosis is? Apoptosis, you have a certain number of cells in the body, and the cell is supposed to die at a certain point. The cell goes through, it's like a clock if you look at it, and when it gets to a certain point, the cell gets to a certain point in its age, it makes a decision as to whether it should commit suicide or not. And you want the cell to commit suicide. That's called apoptosis. That's normal, that's healthy, that's what you want to happen. You want it to go through its natural, normal, healthy cycle before it dies. But in situations like cancer, apoptosis doesn't take place. The cell just keeps growing and growing, and that's why you end up with this mass, this tumor mass. This is one of the major problems today. We are so plugged up with heavy metals, mercury, lead, cadmium, arsenic, aluminum, uranium. We're so plugged up with these today, our mechanisms can't properly function. Now, there are natural things in nature that are called chelating agents, like vitamin C is a natural chelator. Vitamin E is a natural chelator, chlorophyll. There are a lot of things that naturally chelate, and what this means is that they simply will wrap themselves around these heavy metals, change its polarity, and then the body will get rid of it. The mangosteen juice is loaded with natural chelators to help pull out heavy metals. The xanthones have the ability to go down into the cells and help reset apoptosis. The xanthones have the ability to detoxify and help clean out the liver and so forth. One of the things we do with patients, especially our cancer patients, is that we do a test called killer T cell, which shows us what your immune system is doing. And it's common today to see a very low immune system in the majority of people. Remember I told you that Harvard showed that we've lost 25% of our immune system in the last 25 years? We've lost 25% of the nutritional value of our food in the last 20 years. Where are we going? What are we going to have in another 20 years? How about these young kids? Where are they going to be in the next 20 years? So this is what's happening. The mangosteen juice is one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in my life. Before my wife really got into it, I looked at it for about 3 months. I kept looking at the literature. I formulate products for companies all over the world, pharmaceutical companies. I've formulated products for NASA Aerospace Center, written books that have been used as textbooks. And schools, universities. I'm a curious person, but I have a very open mind. I'll give anybody the benefit of the doubt. I'm not one to just say, oh, that sounds like nonsense. I'll look at anything. Anything out there that has some legitimate research behind it that seems to work, I'll use it in the clinic. And we'll see if we can get some results with it. We're always looking for something new. And when they started feeding me all the information about the xanthones, I looked at some of the in vitro studies. I was very impressed with it. And I have found that it does far more for people than any single product I've ever used in my life. We have probably 300, 400 products in my clinic that we use, and this mangosteen juice has probably replaced a good 150 of those. So it's a pretty remarkable substance. Now, is it a panacea for everything? Of course not. I think the biggest mistake we can make is over-exaggerating, and I've actually heard doctors make statements that just frightened me. And I don't know if they're just trying to get recognition or standing ovation or whatever. But there is so much good to be said about this mangosteen juice that we don't need to exaggerate. We don't need to reach out there and make up stories. It'll stand on its own. It's a real deal. One of the things I always like to recommend everyone is that Sound Concepts, the materials they're putting out, the doctors that they're making CDs with and DVDs. It's good, reliable information. You can count on it. A lot of people are making tapes and CDs out there that just, man, they're going to get us all in trouble. So we have to be careful about that. We don't need to exaggerate. Okay, I think my time's up. Listen, thank you very much. If we can help you in any way, call us or whatever. Thank you.